I'm gonna put this at the beginning of the video because I kind of forgot to explain I did explain it, but very briefly, the whole reason of this video. I decided to just talk to you guys about what I found out and did not record any of the games that that you guys will see me presenting to you in the match history, because it's very hard for me to actually record while talking to you guys as freely as I am right now. While, for example, you guys know I play One Piece and I have a channel in One Piece. It's very simple. I can just hop on to the sim. Even when I play, there's less activity in the sim, but there's still a good amount of activity for me to get really the amount of games that I need to have a good video, and then upload it. Also, the games there are faster, and I don't need to like. I don't need there's not that much problem into finding games and uploading a bunch of games. That's pretty much it. But in Recode, it's much harder because right now it's almost, yeah, it's 11 a.m. right now, and there's nobody in the Recode. So, for example, I can speak to you freely like this, but there's nobody playing. And when there is a bunch of people playing, which is what you guys will see in the match history, I cannot speak freely with you because it's already very late at night for me. So, for example, I can't even speak because my mom is sleeping right behind me, pretty much. Like, I have my bedroom here, and right behind this bedroom, there's the other bedroom, which is my mom's. And so I cannot speak freely, and so that limits the amount of content that I can actually do, because I can't speak freely, I can't speak my mind. I usually like to speak my mind during Recode games, because then I can look back at those replays and then analyze if my mindset was correct, if my decision making was correct, and that's by talking. As you guys know, some of the videos before I wasn't talking much, but there are crucial moments where I'm talking a lot, because this is also just a cue for me in my head to when I'm editing the video or looking back at the video, to know, like, if I'm shouting or if I'm angry, to actually know to look closely to the details and understand. And because yesterday I decided to play a bunch of games when there was most active, I understood that if I want to play a bunch of games to actually practice, that means it's very hard for me to record those games, to actually have something to look at and hear for myself, to then, like, take notes and understand the game. So I have a very hard time right here, which is if I record right now and if I jump into Recode, I won't find a game because there's nobody on Recode. But if I do it on late at night, I can actually speak, I can actually say what I want to say, I need to stay very quiet, and that usually leads to less productive videos. So I decided to make this video to just I think this is the only time I'll make this video, to just drop a bunch of information that I found out, because I decided, since I cannot upload a gameplay video, I'm just gonna drop a bunch of things that I've been studying, and I took that whole night to just try and study the meta, which is something I've been postponing way too much. So yeah, thank you so much. That's all I wanted to clarify, so you guys understand the objective of this video a bit better. So yeah, thank you. Hello, it's me again. Domashi TCG, and today, sorry, I kind of just woke up, but it's not really early in the morning. But yeah, I kind of overslept, my bad, guys. So yeah, today's video is gonna be a bit different. Usually what I do is I tell you what I find out, or what I think, or changes I made on the deck, or, you know, whatever is the update on my mindset when it comes to understanding this game. But I had an idea, which was to, instead of just going one game at a time, which I think would be super slow, or in my case sometimes I would upload like 3 videos with 3 games. I think that wouldn't actually show improvement in terms of me understanding the game. I'm not talking about me becoming good at the game. That's a whole new step. But it is understanding the game. That's what I want. I would need my cell phone here, but let's just hope nobody calls me and I can do this in peace. So yeah, so to understand the game, what I decided to do was to go on a very long gaming streak, just playing a bunch of games and then copying people's decks, looking at them, reading them as a whole, then jumping in and playing with those same decks. Sometimes what I would do is I would make some changes to their decks to try and see why is the chemistry working for them and wouldn't be working like this, or in like what I mean by this, I mean by why it works better with the way they're playing, and not why can't I make these changes that I was thinking at the moment, why would it be worse? And so I just decided to try it, and so I made a bunch of games. It doesn't show all of them, which is is there a way to show? I don't think there is. I think this is what I have here to show you guys. But as you guys can see, I experimented with a lot of decks. Now, if you saw later other videos, you guys saw that sometimes when I'm jumping to a game. By the way, the reason why I don't think I'm gonna be playing games today is because there's no activity. Let's just get that out of the way. But every time I would choose a deck, you guys usually would see these names, and so right now there's nothing new, but I have copied these decks like a long time ago, and so I need to update them, and I never really tried them. They were just here, and so this time I decided, because I was playing against people and people were somewhat using these decks, I started to adapt and updating those decks. So yeah. So let's see the first thing that I tried. The first thing that I tried was not actually something that I saw here, which is pretty ironic. But so I decided to play Elemental Maxxor, and this is the deck that I'm running right now. And so the reason why I decided to play Elemental Maxxor a little bit was because I've been told some time ago, this is not that recent to be honest, that Elemental Maxxor strategy specifically is much more simpler than the PoP Maxxor. It just requires a lot less brain power, and I understand now why. This is my updated deck. What I was originally running was two Arthoa, Captain of the Azoa. Damn, nice rhyme. So I had one here, and then I had Relim Watermaster on the back. The reason I decided to change that is because, well, even with the idea about the two Arthoa is in case I need to fight with one of them, he would have all of the discipline checks like always go through. So that means it will always assume that, for example, this stat check power 50 deal 5 damage and stat check wisdom 50 deal 5 damage would always deal those plus 10 damage. What wouldn't would be the fire, unless it's with Maxxor or anything at Townborn, but these three over here would not deal the damage with fire. You guys know this, I know you guys know this, but I decided to change because once I reach, if one of the Arthoa had to fight, usually that means I'm already in a bad spot. So I decided to put Relim. So one Relim is giving 10 health to the other, and the other is giving 10 health to this guy. So they have 60, and then I had battle gear changed. He has Baratheon Axe, which I'm thinking about changing to Evergreen Tunic, to be honest. But for now, I'm gonna keep it this way. And, you know, Evergreen Tunic to get plus 20 health, so we would be 60, 60, 80, and this guy goes to 60, 65, and then decreases 10 energy on the enemy creature. I think it works, but I think Evergreen Tunic has better, it's simpler, and I think it's overall better here. So yeah. And then you have Maxxor, Elemental Champion, and two Tangatomborns on the front to fight it all off. And it's pretty simple. You just engage and you try to do as much damage as possible. All of your stat checks and challenges go through, so that's guaranteed damage thanks to Arthoa. And these guys are getting like 20 heal buff plus the healing buffs that you have here. So you have Baratheon Axe on this Tangatomborn, which is giving him plus 5. So it would be at 70, 70 plus 20, that would be 90 health. That's pretty nice. And then he would be decreasing 10 energy on the other side. That's pretty nice. That's a pretty good advantage, especially if I'm playing on my own locations. And Elemental Maxxor the same. but he's not getting, well, he's getting 5 energy, so he has 60, 60 plus 20, that's 80, 80, 85, and then I can just sacrifice this Nexus Fuse to deal 15 damage, which is kind of like a Phoenix Belt, but a little bit weaker, but I do like the fact that it does give an extra 5 energy. It can come in handy, so for now I'm going to keep it like this, but what I was playing before was Phoenix Belt, but sometimes it would not tank enough, so I decided to just, you know, put it like this, and I think it works fine. Just plus 5 energy, you know, the 15 damage, the 20 damage from the Phoenix Belt usually didn't make that difference, that's why I decided to change. So yeah, it's pretty simple, the Bugic's pretty simple, pretty standard for Overworld, and the attacks too. So this is a simpler strategy to pop. The problem is, I went against wise guys most of the time with this deck. This guy right here, Taiga. So you guys here too, wise guys decks, and I think, yeah, Elemental Maxxor. So the problem with this, going against this, is because it relies heavily on Ivina. And Ivina has outperform Courage 5 and outperform Wisdom 5. And because all of my attacks, the stat checks went through, usually means that I have attacks that, oh, stat check or stat challenge, speed, deal 10 damage, and then lose 60 speed. So that means I was putting my own stats lower as every check went through, and this would mean Ivina would just get an easy outperform with her ability, plus this is wise guys, so all the attacks are just challenging my intellect, so that always go through as well, and at some point Ivina could single-handedly wipe my entire deck out. So I think it's just a matter of the deck countering me. I did have some wins with the Elemental, because what I would do is I would start changing between the decks a lot. I would sometimes, as you guys can see, like a Maxxor, and then here I went Underworld Burn 2 times, then I went back to, I went to Passive Income, you guys will see what that is, 2 times as well, and then I went back to Pop. Before this I would have Elemental Maxxor. I just played a bunch of decks, to be honest. And some I have eliminated because it just wasn't, I just didn't understand what I was doing at all, so I just decided to eliminate them. Jesus. So yeah, Elemental Maxxor are just way simpler than Pop. You just hit hard and hope for the best, kinda. Pop is more sustained kind of build. I love Pop. I made changes to the deck, as you guys can see. I think my problem here is my attacks. I think there's just too much variety, there's not that much consistency, but to be honest, it's actually working, so I do like it. I changed Drape for Garb. Yep, that's the name, Drape. I just think Garb is overall just simpler to use, and I do like him, because I hate that, for example, there was, I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, where everyone I engage with Maxxor would have a battle gear. I don't remember the name of the battle gear. Let me see if there's over here. No. Let me see if I find it. You guys know the name of... no. By the way, this is not... Warbeast is the only one I didn't play. Yeah, there's nothing here. So, the idea is there would be always one guy on the other side that would engage on Maxxor, or I would engage with Maxxor, and they just had a battle gear that is sacrifice this battle gear, destroy the opponent's battle gear. And this would take 0 armor. Maxxor would usually still win that that battle, but that was because the job of the other creature is done. It's just destroy my my battle gear, and I would weaken Maxxor on later fights, because they would just stack up with the better attacks and just kind of one-shot him because he's 55 health. Thankfully, yesterday that did not happen. So yeah, I made some changes. Tartarex with the Phoenix Belt still here. I don't think in their case, because I do have some healing here, I don't think in their case playing the Nexus, whatever it is, I forgot the name, with +5 would make that much of a difference here. Nexus Fuse, yep. So yeah, I think Phoenix Belt still is better. On this case specifically, Arbit now has Stellar Bracers. I was getting screwed, to not say the swear word, by this. I would sometimes engage on someone who has it, and this will be revealed, and this would mean their location is now active when I kind of want my own location to be active. Or sometimes I would have a Garv on the other side, or they would play music, something, anything that would reveal their own telebracers on some of their creatures, which would then change the location, and that would put me in a very bad spot. So I decided to adapt and put the telebracers myself in case I need it. Also, Garv has a pretty cool thing, which is, you guys know I love elemental oxidation. I'm only playing one right now because if I do really need to, Garv can in fact just flip the battle gear face down. So yeah, usually you use his ability to flip this and flip this up, but if I really want to, I can flip something down, and that's really nice because I don't need to wait that much to see elemental oxidation, and so I don't need to put it at 2, leaving it for some other things, you know, that do more damage. And so I used to play Garv before, but then I changed to Drape, and now I'm in Garv again, so yeah. Let's go back to the match history. You guys know, now you guys got my 2 main decks, which are Maxxor Protector and Maxxor Elemental. I love Maxxor. Now let's get into the actual meta. Wise Guys, I knew they were somewhat meta for a long time. This is the version of the deck I like the most from the Taiga that he played against me. Let me show you guys the other one right here. I just think this is pretty good, not gonna lie. You have pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 heals, plus denials, and you know, reckless, which just gives the damage back. Not only that, they can in fact hold their own because of the Achilles Wisp, which pretty much gives them wisdom, so that means every check here will go through, and then it gets +5 energy, which is not much, but it does help a lot in this case because you have a lot of heal. I don't know if I would change Ivina on the top. To be honest, right now what I'm doing in the deck that I'm playing is I decided to just copy. This was the one I liked the most, and to be honest, when I was looking at playing against this, I was thinking if I ever played a meta deck, I think it would be Wise Guys. It does feel bad that there's no Maxxor here. I love Maxxor, man. I wish my boy was in all my decks if possible, but it's not something I can do. But yeah, so oh yeah, actually let's go with my deck. It does not have only 5 energy. Ikatosh also makes it gain 20 energy. So that means he gets 5, 55, 20, that's 75, that's more than enough to hold in a battle. So yeah, these don't need that much protection. I still would love to just put Loma on as a defender. This is something that I see pretty common on decks, and this is the point I want to make. A lot of, like, I don't think if it's considered meta, I think it is because the way people build decks is always the best decks I saw and the most annoying ones to deal with always have like a defender on a really good position to defend all of their smaller bodies, and then you have usually one very big fighter, and then the defender would protect all of the other weak bodies, so in case there's someone with swift and range, they can just protect it like really easily, and that's really nice. And that's something I'm not gonna lie, I wish Pop could run, but I understand why Pop cannot run that. It would just destroy the whole positioning of the characters, and I don't think there's a defender that has synergy with Maxxor, because that would mean they would need Earth and Fire, because all my attacks are pretty much Earth and Fire. Sorry. And Loma is one of the few defenders that there is, if not the only one, to be honest, on Overworld. And Maxxor is loyal and unique, so yeah. She only has water, so it's pretty bad. But here, she has incredible synergy. You lose water thanks to this. And then you just play for the wisdom, as always. You know, it's Wise Guy. You guys know the strategy. I'm just telling you guys what I found out. by studying a lot, because the idea of this channel is not only for me to start understanding chaotic and starting to get good at it, is also to have somewhat of video footage for maybe new players that want to understand the game better. And so they are seeing it through my eyes, and so it's easier to just see a video of me explaining everything. So yeah, the meta is pretty much that. You have very good support characters that somewhat can hold their own with battle gear or buffs from the back line, and then the defender will still exchange them if required. That's up to the player to decide, which is nice because it gives you control of what the opponent can do and what you can do and want to do, which is something that PoP does not have. So now I understand why PoP is viable, but it's not meta. When I asked if PoP was meta, people told me, oh, it's not bad. Mate, telling me it's not bad is not the same as telling me it's good. I can see PoP popping off from time to time, but these strategies are just much more consistent. You get to engage with Ivina. Ivina can like destroy a whole army, to be honest. Oh, there's Maxxor over there. I didn't see it. Never noticed that. And then if you're not the first person to engage, you can in fact still defend and have a very decent body to fight with. And I think that's just the best case scenario. This is also very popular in Mipedians. Yesterday I did not go against any Mipedians. I want to do a Mipedians deck to try it. That is not War Beast. This, to be honest, I don't know where I got this. I had this for a very long time, but as you guys can see here, also has a defender. And Malvadin is one of the fucking best defenders I saw in my whole life. This guy is, I don't know, this guy is Sergio Ramos from fucking Real Madrid, I'm telling you. Holy damn. It's so annoying to deal with. But yeah, this is more of a War Beast. I kind of want a more grounded and simpler Mipedian deck that does not run War Beast. War Beasts are pretty strong, but I kind of wish I had this and I had another strategy that is more grounded, because I think it's more popular than War Beast. But yeah, as you guys can see, Mipedians also run a lot of a lot of Mipedians. All the Mipedians run this guy right here, this defender here, and then they just have a bunch of healing and a bunch of damage, like seriously one shot. And yeah, and only that they pretty much can also negate a lot of your attacks, while overall negates a lot of the your music, which is usually your strongest resource. Mipedians negate your attacks, so they have sustain by negating your attacks and then hitting extra hard on their side. So yeah, not only that, Mipedians also have one little thing that I wish I had more, which is consistency. Mipedians have a lot of attacks and play a lot of attacks in their strategies that cycle their attacks. Let me see if I find it here. I know that he's gonna be here. Although I have this for a long time, it's gonna be here. Or maybe not. What? It's not here. It's actually not here, goddamn. Okay, but there's an attack that pretty much lets you draw attacks and discard attacks. This means you can pretty much just cycle your deck to find the better attacks if you need. Or, for example, if you lose air element, which is usually what the Mipedians run with, you usually can like cycle the deck to find the attack, which I'm not seeing here. That gives you the air element back, because it's a pretty big thing on these decks usually. That I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't played with the Mipedian normal deck besides War Beast. So yeah, not even War Beast, I just looked through it. So yeah, sorry I'm saying oh yeah, so yeah a lot, but it's my way of talking. And the last one is one that it's not here. I went against this as well. Actually this is a good way of showing. Another thing that it's pretty popular, and the last thing it's pretty popular. No, there's another thing that is pretty popular, and one that I struggle a lot, but we'll get to that. But another thing is pretty popular is Naina. So Naina lets you pick up any amount of music counters from a character and putting onto another character. You can only do this one turn, which is pretty big, because when I try this strategy, and now let's go into my deck. This is something that I have created, in fact. There needs some changes here and there. Passive income, there we go. And so I forgot that this is one per turn. I thought you could always do this, because it felt, when I was playing against it, it felt like it was doing that, but it was not. And so now I understand. I don't know why. Every time I read that this ability can only be used once per turn, for some reason I never computed in my brain that it could actually only be like once per battle. So that means usually Naina is just waiting for your Mipedians to bump up on. This is also a strategy that Jade somewhat uses, just not like this. He just uses a lot of other tribes to get other buffs with those other tribes and creatures. I'm using mostly Overworld. You know why. So yeah, the idea with this strategy is pretty simple. While we engage with a body that we like, which is usually in my case, Laminko and Loma, so to defend. We can also engage with Nunkworm. But yeah, but usually it's with these two, if I'm not mistaken. And so the idea is to try and hold on as much as possible with the heals that I have, which I just only one. And then try to, you have some musics here, and then try to bump as many and try to farm as many music counters as I can from usually Nunkworm, to then just put them all on Archon, which then I can just keep healing 20 as many as I can. But the problem with the strategy, and this is where I need to exploit the most, is because since you can only do this once per turn, if I bait out this ability very early, it means I can limit the healing a lot. And this is something I did not understand when I was playing Pop. But with Pop, and Pop also struggles a little bit with this, because Pop is a slower deck, so that means I cannot just one-shot this as fast as possible, because this guy has 60, and most of them are playing Zerium Armor, or usually it's Loma that has Zerium Armor. I decided to put Evergreen Tunic because this guy was getting one-shotted pretty easily, and so I just decided to put Zerium Armor here, because I wasn't seeing any other battle gear that was stopping him from getting one-shotted. So yeah. The idea is to try and bump as many attacks as I can. This obviously usually works best when I'm engaging, because I get the first attack. So if I use an elemental attack right away, that's one music, another music here. I'm trying to bump as many musics on him so that here Morphworth deals a good amount of damage as well. Besides, all of them has Water 5. I don't know how Brainwash works, by the way. I'm assuming that as soon as you enter the game and you have Mipedians, they just brainwash your entire formation or deck, and that means that he becomes giving Water 5 and not 10 energy. I think I'm right. I haven't really checked, to be honest, because this is one of the decks that I played the less, because I just needed to adapt, and I think I only played one game, actually, now that I'm thinking, where I made the misplay of using Naina very early, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I lose, because now I have too many limited resources. So yeah. But yeah, that is it for this strategy. But this is also something that is very popular, is placing Naina with Fluidmorphers or Mipedians that have Fluidmorph, so they keep generating music counters, and then she can just replace those music counters onto something that you need, or something for your strategy. So this is very popular as well. I like this one that plays more Overworld, because you guys already know that. And now let's go to the last one that and this one I still struggle a lot, but thank God I understand it the best now. Underworld Burn. Holy damn, I have a problem with this deck. In case you don't know, I play One Piece, and my skill issue, and this is a skill. Most of chaotic right now is a skill issue, but that's a whole new reason. Another reason. It's because I don't understand the game now. I don't understand the game right now, and hopefully, while I understand, this skill issue starts to go away. But in One Piece, there's colors, and I have a particularly skill issue and a problem with one color, which is yellow. And I'm feeling the exact same about Underworld Burn. It does not matter how much I play against this deck, I'm just getting one-shotted every single time. And I'm talking about Pop. You guys know I usually compare it to Pop because it's the one I love the most. And Underworld Burn, now I understand how finite the resources are. I did not know how much damage they have over here. This is the main point of me talking about this deck. I did not know how much they were holding on this side, but after looking into a lot of Underworld decks and looking at, this is my own that I made. I think it's pretty simple. I think I'm gonna remove Skeletal Steel, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'm gonna remove Skeletal Steel right now. Because again, it's very popular to just have a defender that can like protect all of the creatures that are not ready to fight. And so yeah, I decided I think I'm gonna remove from Takinum and just play that battle gear that I forget the name, that gives her 5 energy and then intimidates 10 energy. Okay. But she's pretty cool because she has Swift 2, and with the Skeletal Steel, that means she could run around the whole formation of the opponent, but that's not the case because again, defenders are pretty good in this game. So that means she doesn't actually have that freedom, so I guess I should just remove it and equip her with something that can, in fact, help her in a battle against anyone. So yeah, this is Underworld Burn. And Underworld Burn just one-shots everyone. Against Overworld, it's harder, especially Overworld that is equipped to defend and to fight. Like Wise Guys, I think, has a nice time against Underworld Burn. I believe, I'm not entirely sure. Please don't take this too seriously. You guys know I'm a newbie. But yeah, because we can negate the Cannons of Casualty, which deal 20 damage, and also Underworld Burn usually runs Caster's War Song that deals 15. That means 15 because Compound is mute, so usually you cast it with him, and that means it's dealing 10 extra damage, so that's 15. Then you have Ulmars expanding their fire attribute every single battle, because they're not fighting, they don't really require fire, and then that fire attribute resets after every battle or every turn. That's the term in Chaotic, is after every turn you get the attribute back. I'm calling it battles because it's easier for me to understand. So that means right now you have a lot of pressure. So for example, against this passive income, it would actually not be bad, because if a creature would take more than 20 damage from an attack, he only takes 20 damage. But because he's using abilities and musics, that usually means that it would one-shot a very crucial guy, which is Laminkal. And all of a sudden, you bait out the Nanaina early, and that's what you want to do pretty much against this strategy specifically. So that's one way of looking at things. Underworld can bait out a lot of resources from the get-go, because it pretty much goes into your strongest bodies and then tries to one-shot it as fast as possible. Once he does it, usually, let's imagine here. Where is Wise Guys? If this would lose Ivina, you still have Drape to fight, yes, but it would still be much easier to just have Ivina wipe out the entire board, because Ivina has outperformed. So if Underworld can in fact just one-shot her and take her away from the battle, it still has 1, 2, 3 pretty good bodies to fight with. And that pretty much is how Underworld builds advantage. It's just one-shotting the strongest guy, hopefully in their own good location, and yeah, That's it, and then just builds momentum off that, of you losing your best body. If right now I'm using Tachinum, but let me just show you guys here. Nope, where is it? I'm not gonna show you Underworld. Oh, I think, oh, there it is, here. They're playing Rodar. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I guess this is the most I've seen of Underworld. They're also not playing the KR, the other KR. They're playing the normal KR. I guess he has more music counters, so for you to be able to use more musics. Also, Rodar does not have music counters. But yeah. As you guys can see, Rodar is playing very aggro with Nexus Fuse and Phoenix Belt, and KR also Phoenix Belt. So this is just deal a lot of damage. It's pretty straightforward. I also enjoyed playing with Underworld Burn, to be honest. But I just love Pop. I don't know what it is about that deck. I look at this, and I'm like, yeah, if I was in the Chaotic series, I would be a player that would be playing this. This just feels right to look at. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Underworld Burn is pretty strong too. As I think with Tachinum it works pretty well, because Tachinum is very strong. Also, she has Strike 10, so that means her first attack deals a lot of damage if she's the... So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know what Ulmar does for that deck. I did not understand it, to be honest. And here, for example, with Underworld Starter, it was also playing this, but this is Underworld Starter, so I don't think it counts as much. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why, if someone can leave it in the comments, why Rodar, Forcible Negotiator, is better. I would love to know, because pretty much he is... Oh. Sorry. He's making you engage with him every time. Yeah, like, you lose control over your own deck, because you do not engage with KR if you want. You need to engage with Rodar, because he's forced to move into adjacent occupied space if able. I don't know if that also means to engage fight, but I think it is, because every time I played against Burn, Rodar was always the first one to engage. I know, he has pretty good stats. 70, it's pretty nice, but I don't know what to tell you. So yeah. She has 65. Again, I'm thinking about changing this. So I don't know what to do, really. I don't know. Tachinum, to me, by the way, I have to Tachinum because I was trying something which is apparently people take away unique and loyal from some in ban lists for some creature, and apparently Tachinum right now is not unique. She's just loyal, and a character that is unique, well, being able to play at 2, in my opinion, is pretty strong. Imagine if Maxxor PoP could be played too. That would help a lot of the strategy. But yeah. Also, actually, not even. Wait. Because you kind of use Nurturing Nocturne, and you only have 2 minions, so going to 1 minion, then that means we would have to take this away. I know, we would have to adapt. But yeah, I think that's all I've studied. Now I just need to find a Mipedian deck that's not using War Beasts, so I can try it and understand Mipedians. If I had to say the 2 decks that I struggle the most understanding, is definitely Mipedians and Underworld Burn. Now Underworld Burn, I do understand it a lot better, so I still need to see how it goes against an actual deck that is not Underworld Starter. An actual like this, because I lost this game. But yeah, I don't know if Pop can actually survive that much. Maybe there's something wrong in my deck. My deck is stronger now, in my opinion. That was a problem there. But yeah, I'm understanding the game better now. I'm sorry that this video is somewhat just telling you guys what you already know, but in case you're a new player and need to understand better the game, that's pretty much it. Let me just try to summarize as best as possible. What I believe, I'm not saying this is actually meta, this is just a study that I've seen. What I believe is meta is having a very strong defender protecting your smaller bodies or bodies that you do not want to be engaging on to fight right away. This means positioning a defender gives you control of the battles. Giving you control of the battles is, in my opinion, crucial to winning the game. That's why this positioning Loma right over here in one of these spots is usually the great idea. This is also true in Mipedians. Mipedians and decks that use more tribes usually have one of these two, either that be Loma, either that be Malvadine, either that be Tenga Thoborn, the one that has Defender. That's usually the idea, is just to control more of what you want to engage onto battle. Then you have, then with that, let's just actually take with Wise Guys. After that, after you manage to control somewhat what your opponent can engage onto, that means your strategy is already more consistent, because you know that most of your, wait, do I want this here? I don't know if I want this here. I think I don't want this here. Okay, sorry. That usually means your support characters are always somewhat protected thanks to your defender, and that means if you play it right, your support characters are protected, and that means constant healing and pulling your strategy and fighting with what you want to fight and sustaining with what you want to fight much better. Then you have characters that decks that try to bait out that very early. Again, let me bring this here. Characters that again are protected by defenders and somewhat needs time to set up and then just start running you over. Underworld Burn is here to kinda keep that in check by spending a lot of resources on their own, try and bait out a lot of resources of your own, and hopefully even baiting out your resources, they still win battle, and that's pretty much what they do, and that's a pretty simple strategy, but it works. And then you have idiots like me that play PoP. That is not a consistent strategy, especially if you're not a good player like me, and so you need to kind of hope that whatever you engage, you can actually sustain yourself and win. That's it. Elemental, I'm not gonna talk a lot. There's better strategies with Elemental, in my opinion, so I don't want to show Elemental Maxxor, but that is also something that is running around. So yeah, whew, that is 40 minutes of video. So yeah, this video will not have gameplay, this is just what I studied. Now I understand much better what people can use against me, so I can play around it, or at least know what I'm going into. So if I lose, now at least I understand why I'm losing. So yeah, this was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Probably not, because you're probably a veteran playing watching this, if you are watching this. But if you're a new player, hopefully this helps you understanding a little bit better everything right now, because ban lists come and go and meta comes and goes. I think so. I'm new here, so I don't really know that, but I believe so, because they're pretty active on trying to change the meta as much as possible. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next video.